Well, good evening everyone and welcome to the Laithwaite Community Stadium here in Woking in Surrey, ready for West Ham United's under-21s kicking off their competitive season. So it's been a long pre-season which has seen the young Hammers go out to Spain, and some of them joined the first team in Germany and the USA, but now they're all together and we're about to witness the first game of the National League Cup just moments away. We'll go through the lineups if you're just joining us. Firstly, of course, the home side, Woking starting with Tom Norcroft in goal, currently fielding out 4 new signings this evening. Tom Norcroft, who's on a short loan from Reading, is in between the sticks with Tarek Hines, the captain Timmy Osadina, Tunji Akinola, another new signing in Caleb Richards, another new signing in Jack Turner. Luke Hall is the other 4th new recruit of the summer, alongside previous players of Jamie Andrews, Josh Asude, Ini Effiong and Sam Ashford. As for the bench, Craig Roos, Aaron Drew, Sonny Parks, Timmy Akinola, Harry Beautyman, Matt Ward and Jake Hyde. As for your young irons ready for the season to start, it's a strong side. Finn Herrick in between the sticks, Junior Robinson there with Ezra Mayers, Preston Fearon, Louis Zhao. Eridas Golombekis is taking the captain's armband with Ryan Battram playing, Lewis Orford in midfield. Josh Landers had a successful season for the under-18s. Maybe this could be the season. He'll be hoping so, where he really makes his mark in the age group above. He'll be leading the line with Adieli and Regan Clayton to complete the starting 11. Louis Brown, Finn Hooper, Mahamadou Kante, Tyrone Akpata, Dan Rigg, Josh Briggs and Gabriel Caliste on the bench for Steve Potts to potentially rely upon. Of course, if you're just joining us, welcome. Laithwaite Community Stadium is where your young irons will be playing and kicking off their competitive season in just under 5 minutes' time. Of course, the National League Cup, West Ham last season didn't have much joy. How the competition works is teams are split into groups of 8. 4 teams from the National League, 4 teams from the Premier League 2. And this time West Ham will kick it off against Woking as they make their way onto the pitch. Of course, with the National League, the 5th tier of English football, they were given a chance by the Premier League last season to participate in this tournament. It gives them an opportunity to win prize money, which can of course further allow them to recruit new players, a better quality of player, but also allow them to just progress their club financially. And as mentioned, Hammers narrowly missed out on the kick-off stages in the first season last year. Of course, they got 2 wins, 2 defeats, which saw them miss the quarter-finals by a single point. So Group C they are in this year. And of course, the current holders are Leeds United, who beat Sutton 2-1 in the final. So it was an under-21 side that won the inaugural National League Cup competition. West Ham want to try and replicate that result, but of their own.
And number 20, Sam Ashford.
So there are your young irons for the first time of the competitive season. I'll just run you through the lineups if you're just joining me. Here we are, Finn Herrick in goal with Junior Robinson, Ezra Mayers, Louis Zhao and Eridas Golombekis, with Amika Adieli being the back 5. Then it'll be a midfield duo of Lewis Orford and Preston Fearon, with Ryan Battram and Regan Clayton up front, with Josh Landers just ahead of them. And of course, the National League Cup, there are 4 groups of 8. Within those 4 groups of 8 are 16 Premier League 2 sides, 16 National League sides, and West Ham are situated in Group C alongside the other Premier League 2 teams in Fulham, Brighton and Southampton. The National League teams that they'll be facing, of course, Woking this evening, Aldershot, Sutton again just like last year, and Truro, who have recently been promoted to the National League after they won the National League South back in May. Of course, Sutton, the side that did get to the final last year. West Ham did have some success against them last season as well, beating them 2-0 away. And of course, every game played will always be played at the National League Club's ground, which is why we're here at the Laithwaite Stadium with Josh Landers in the centre circle to get proceedings underway, as we are just seconds away from the referee blowing his whistle to start the under-21s campaign. Of course, recently just come off doing the commentary for the under-18s tournament over in Prague. No under-18s featuring in the bench or on the bench this afternoon or this evening, apart from Finn Hooper, of course, so he'll be having just come off the plane from the Czech Republic. It wasn't the most memorable of tournaments. It was an entertaining game though, 4-3 against Rangers in the last game back on Sunday morning, and before that it was an unfortunate 1-1 draw against Midtjylland and a 2-1 defeat against Slavia Prague, which saw them finish bottom of their group. So they'll be looking to try and kick on now as they face Southampton this Saturday. But all our eyes now turn to, of course, Woking versus West Ham. And I must say, perhaps slightly questionable kits, given the fact that I would argue it's a bit of a kit clash. Luckily, Woking have got that red strip on their top, but yes, it's an interesting couple. I'm sure you'd never see that in the Premier League. One of the sides would probably refuse, but here we are in the friendly Woking, and Lewis Orford will be able to take an early corner as the goalkeeper Tom Norcott unable to keep it in. And right now I'm unable to see who exactly is who. But Orford will whip it in towards Mayers. Surely an early goal. Mayers with his hands on his face, disappointed that he's unable to steer it home. And Tom Norcott, the player who gave away that corner, was important there after having come down to the floor and then eagerly getting up to see that ball just floating in the air. Woking will try and make an attack of their own. The player's still down. So there have been some games played in the National League Cup so far. There were a round of fixtures last night. As for the teams in Group C, the ones we'll need to keep an eye on, West Ham fans, Fulham beating Sutton 7-0. That is an almighty thrashing. Brighton, of course, as well, beating Aldershot 2-1. So not only did Fulham win 7-0, but to win at Sutton too, that did take some doing. Of course, they're a powerful side, Fulham. We knew that last season when they came to Rush Green and beat West Ham 3-0. Of course, all the fixtures have come out now for the Premier League too. West Ham kick off their under-21s campaign at home to Nottingham Forest on Monday, this coming Monday at 7 p.m. But Fulham in Group C already leading the way, and it's going to take some beating. The long ball's switched all the way over towards this near side. It's picked up by Batram, who's then pushed over. The referee instantly blows his whistle. You can see there the number 6, Jamie Andrews, just trying to leave his mark on West Ham number 7. Now Gollum Beckes, who of course did participate, not in the playing match, but in the pre-season tour for West Ham's first team. He was out there in Germany. So coming off a season where he's just been in and around the first team squad and learning off them, will be incredibly invaluable for this season. I, for one, am certainly looking forward to seeing how he develops as an under-21 from start to beginning. Of course, last year he started to get phased in by Steve Potts and Mark Robson towards the midpoint. having had a couple of appearances in the early stages of the Premier League International Cup, but this season he'll be raring to go right from the very off. Of course, with it being the first competitive season, just overlooking the pre-season for West Ham, probably wasn't a memorable one in terms of winning, but at the end of the day it's all about getting the minutes in the tank, as every summariser or football expert will tell you. Of course, they didn't have the best game at Worthing. Brad Dolligan haunting them. He's finding his groove back at Worthing, having scored a couple of goals since their start of the season. A trip to Ebbsfleet, which saw them lose 2-0. But then Northampton, that was a more positive game, a goalless draw where Michael Forbes had a superb game and then shortly afterwards ended up going on loan to Northampton. So Michael Forbes, someone who was unlucky last season with the injuries he got at Bristol Rovers, is enjoying life now at Northampton. And at the meantime, Woking are trying to enjoy the early stages of the opening 5 minutes, but Herrick was alert and knew exactly where he was rolling it out to. Of course, Michael Forbes, recently joining Northampton on loan, scored a goal against Wigan just a couple of weekends ago in their first game of the season. Faced Southampton last night, having come off the bench for the final 30 minutes. So already having 3 appearances for Northampton. Clayton trying to send in a ball, but it comes off the shin of Odesina. Now Woking will just try and gather the ball in their back line, but they're unable to do so, and that's good pressure. Can they make the most of it? Landers with the slick pass back to Fearon. Just couldn't quite have the space to pull off a strike. West Ham feel they should have had a penalty, but the pressure there couldn't have gone much better from a West Ham perspective. Fearon with the first time pass, and Landers as well, not being selfish. Lovely link up between the two. Just unfortunate to not be able to test Norcott in the end. Of course, Fearon gained many headlines for West Ham fans in their pre-season tour in the USA. Albeit he only played 12 minutes against Manchester United, he still showed what he could do. And of course got a lot of West Ham fans excited for what could be to come from the 18-year-old. And he looked promising there, feeding that nice ball through to Landers. It's another big season for Josh Landers too. He made 3 sub-appearances for the under-21s last season, but got 10 goals in 13 games for the under-18s. So this year he'll want to try and break in and perhaps either link up or compete with Josh Ajala. Either way, Ajala and Landers will be fighting for their place in Mark Robson's side. Free kick goes the way of West Ham. And it will be Orford. Robinson is going to try and provide some width, as you can see in your right part of your screen. Fearon's nearby, but Orford will whip it over towards Gollum Beckis, who gets a head onto it. It finds the gloves of Norcott. Of course, for Woking, they find themselves having just come off the back of a 2-0 defeat against Carlisle. Albeit a well-established National League side. And this is their 13th National League season in the past 14 seasons. Of course, last season they were staring relegation in the face towards the mid part around December time. But then manager Neil Ardley came in whilst they were battling relegation and steered them away from the drop. What a run this is as well. 3 losses in their final 22 matches meant they comfortably survived the drop. It certainly meant going into this season they had a point to prove. It's up by Louis Zhao, who sees Robinson making that central run, trying to get him behind. Some hands being dealt with there on Odesina's back. He felt probably Robinson was likely to give away a foul. It was good positional play from the Woking number 5 and captain. So this match, after a 2-0 defeat in the league, they currently sit 22nd, but of course that doesn't really matter at this point. Hardly a sign, but this could be a sign for things to come. Just wide from Effiong. He had Herrick looking, but he wasn't scrambling. Had a couple of chances to maybe tee off a strike, and then you can see him really hit it with some power and dip. Herrick was aware it was just going wide. Herrick playing a pass to the other goalkeeper. Little game between the two. Perhaps unintentionally though. Here is Effiong, holding it up for their fullback. This is a smart run beyond Louis Zhao. Effiong side foots it towards that corner, but he hits it straight into a West Ham leg. If you look on the replay, it looks like it was on target as well. It was a really nice run towards that byline. And if it wasn't for Ezra Mayers sticking out a leg, it could be 1-0 Woking. Well, warning signs shown from the home side, especially down that left-hand side, which is where a lot of their players come down so far. And then the commentators curse strikes as they're now playing on the right. That's a good move. Good nutmeg. Dragged wide. But it does come off another West Ham player. It will be a corner kick for Woking. Going over to take it is one of their new signings, number 17, Luke Hall, an attacking midfielder on a 1-year deal with an option to extend. Signed from Worksop Town last season in the Premier League North. Eric was aware of that header, and it's fairly routine for the number 1. The number 5 and captain Timmy Odesina rising high. Good West Ham pressure so far as they have to send it long. Trying to get it in behind Robinson. Colin Beckis is onto the number 12. Josh Asude. It's Caleb Richards in field. Idly done. As they now switch it over towards the right. Warford with the push. He felt like that was a foul, but in fact he won it nicely. Here's Fearon driving forward with options to his left and right. Will he go alone? Oh, Preston Fearon just running into danger to the extent he gives the ball away cheaply. That's when you've got all those options, 2 to your right and 1 to your left, and you're all running at the same pace at the same time. It's hard to exactly know where to go. And perhaps that's when you feel perhaps going alone is the best option. Here's Odesina trying to find the ball up to his talisman. Effiong is judged to have been offside. So of course, thank you for joining us on this stream on the West Ham YouTube channel here in Woking at the Laithwaite Community Stadium in the first round of the National League Cup. So far it's been a fairly high tempo start. Both sides not willing to just pass it around the back and try and keep possession, and when you're seeing skills like that from Fearon, that was sublime. And you could see the reaction too from Inia Effiong. Just thinking, oh my, an 18-year-old's just done that to me. Well, that just shows the confidence Fearon's got at the moment. And you can feel he's just got a bit of zip about him in this game. Being smart with his moves, of course. He's unable to win it back there. But he's bringing this game a lot of energy. Of course, if you are watching on the West Ham YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, bringing you all the academy content you could ever possibly want. Oh, just look at that. Absolutely effortless from Fearon. And the reaction from Effiong made it. Well, it will be a corner for West Ham. In front of the terraced stand. As Adieli just trots over to this near side. Robinson's outside the area, but they play it short. Here is Robinson. You feel he's going to send one in, which he does. It's high, and it's a good height for Norcott. Just a slight jump in the air to collect that. And he does it nicely. Number 12, Josh Asude. Effiong unable to follow it up with the reverse pass. Colin Beckis for the interception, but it ends up passing the ball back to another new signing in Jack Turner, the 22-year-old central midfielder, who joins following 2 years at the Scottish Championship as he played for Queen's Park. 18 goals in 90 appearances. He was also an academy product at Southampton. They've got a high calibre of players, Woking, albeit they may not be in the most fashionable end of the league. And the same goes for last season. They're still a prestigious club at this level. Got to the early stages of the FA Cup. Lost to Watford 2-0, but in the meantime, they could try and put West Ham 1-0 down. It's sent central. That's a lovely return pass. Sude to Richards, now Sude again. He's going to try and have a go at Golombekis. Sends in a ball. Fearon once again is there. No skills, just a clearance. He knew exactly what to do. Slight shove off the ball. Flanders will go in on Norcutt. There is Luke Hall. One back. It's nasty shown. Flanders flicking it over towards Fearon. That's another brilliant turn. He may want to finish this one off himself. He has to play it over towards Clayton, who was just in front of him when he played the ball. Warford. Ambitious pass over towards Golombekis as he had his back to goal. And that's a really late challenge from Luizao. In fact, I'm talking nonsense. What a slide challenge. For a minute you felt he got more of the player than the ball. But in fact, that's just what you call a good old-fashioned tackle. The way the player went down looked concerning. And as for that ball played in, never troubling Herrick. But Sude was onto that in an absolute flash. And then Luizao, the way he just manages to get back up and scuff the ball away from Effiong's direction. And West Ham will take that all day long. Of course, Luizao, who was on loan at Pogoń Szczecin last year in Poland, only played 4 games in the end. Now he's back as a 23-year-old, the eldest player in this West Ham side. He still seems happy at under-21s level. We'll have to see what happens to his career this campaign, because it will be a big one for him. Mayers underneath that one. Of course, what a season Ezra Mayers had last year. Really making that left centre-half position his own. And I'm sure he'll just improve on the foundations he built up, especially after the Premier League Under-18 Cup win. Here's Effiong. They have some space, but that's a poor pass. There's no conviction in it, or precision. Robinson unable to find the run of Landers in behind. As Woking tried to weave it through. That's a late challenge there from the number 20, Sam Ashford, who goes into the referee's book. And that'll be the first yellow card, as we're just over a quarter way through the whole match. Luizao looks to be in some pain, which is concerning. It was a late challenge too. The way he's holding his leg doesn't look good. And for a second I thought it could be slightly more sinister, but the fact that the players are still around him suggests it's more just something minor that needs looking at. Hopefully Luizao's okay, as the players are allowed a drinks break while Luizao receives some medical attention. Of course, if you hadn't noticed already, West Ham have found out their opposition in this season's Premier League International Cup. Of course, last season it didn't go as well as it had done the season before, where in 2023-24 they found themselves all the way into the semi-final, where they ended up losing to the eventual runners-up in PSV. And last season, of course, they were unable to break out the group stages, having beaten Borussia Mönchengladbach in the latter stages of the group, but drawing to Lyon and Bilbao, and ultimately losing their third game meant that they didn't clock enough points to get into the top part that would qualify for the next round. And of course, this year they'll be facing plenty of big teams. Borussia Dortmund, Anderlecht, Bilbao again, and of course Sporting Lisbon. So those will be the four teams that come to East London, to the Dagenham and Redbridge Stadium, the Chigwell Construction Stadium, as West Ham have a point to prove as they try to advance into the latter stages of the Premier League International Cup. Of course, if they were to get to the final against a side from Europe, they'd even play at the London Stadium, as whoever gets to the final, that is an English side, will have the ability to play in their first team stadium. Of course, a couple of seasons ago it was at Crystal Palace's ground, where they ended up beating PSV 1-0. Last year it was at Nottingham Forest's ground, where they played Lyon, Bilbao in fact. And Athletic Bilbao did prove a tough opponent for West Ham last season. And of course, West Ham will be coming up against the side from the Basque region once again. So, play resumes as Luizao is all good to carry on. Of course, Woking with a really good story last year, especially for Neil Ardley, who came in at the mid-table, at the mid-time of last season, staring relegation in the face and steering them away. He's had a respectable managerial career too. The 52-year-old, having made 245 playing appearances for Wimbledon over an 11-year period. Also played at Watford, Cardiff, and then retired at Millwall when he retired in 2007. And he went into management in 2012 with AFC Wimbledon and won the League Two playoff final with them in 2016. And since then he's managed a couple of clubs such as York City in the 23-24 season. And then after being released from there, finds himself here in Surrey for Woking in the National League. Jamie Andrews. As Woking just tried to play through the lines. Effiong with the layoff. They have to retrieve it on this left-hand side as Richards makes the overlapping run. This is nice play from Woking. As it's swung in, Robinson's the player that finds the head, and it ends up being a smart pass back to Herrick. Over towards Mayers. He's playing like a left back. Of course, he can play left back, but usually we've seen him on the left side of a back three, with Adieli providing the width as a left wing back. Looks like Regan Clayton's playing in that position this evening, with Adieli playing like a left winger. Well, one back from Mayers, just effortlessly done. Doesn't feel he should have gifted it away there. The referee allowing Woking the chance with a set piece. You can see West Ham number 3 was not in agreement with the referee's decision. But a chance to try and open the scoring on the 30-minute mark here. As a slow ball swung in, Herrick was alert to the danger. Not the one of highest quality, you'll see. Perhaps one from the training ground, given the fact that they played it at a rather low height. But it doesn't bother the West Ham shot stopper. Here's Orford. Another one of those spraying passes as he finds Clayton. He's never giving that one up, and he almost squeezed a lovely ball through to Landers. It falls with Adieli. Now back with Orford, who started the move. How about that for some footwork? Low strike, glancing wide. Unfortunate there from Orford. That would have been a sublime goal, the way he just picked the ball up from the middle of the pitch, found the pass to Clayton, who did not give that up. West Ham playing some brilliant football here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. And the footwork from Orford as he looked to drill it into that corner. Just seeing it go wide. In fact, it came off a goalkeeper. So Tom Norcott had to make the save to deny Orford of an opener. He'll be short though for Adieli to potentially pass it to, but instead he whips it in. Has some joy. Mayers! Surely! But that's heroic goalkeeping, and then the defending as well from the captain, Timmy Odesina, who absolutely wellied that out of play. To the extent, I think he apologised to a fan in the terraced stand behind the goal. But look at that defending from Caleb Richards on the line. And before Mayers could have a chance with the rebound, the captain was there. And that corner doesn't result in the same excitement the one did prior. Slight barge there from Louis Zhao. Perhaps just wanting to get his revenge after the challenge on him from Sam Ashford. And the player just jogging off, I believe, is Sam Ashford as well. So I wonder what was going through Louis Zhao's mind when he saw the chance to perhaps have a little nudge on the player that went into the book following their slide challenge on him. Woking working with the space well. Effiong up against Robinson, but the slight agile frame manages to wriggle away from him. Once again, the passing in the midfield for West Ham has been so strong. Really nimble, intricate bits of play. And you feel as well this side did play so many minutes with one another. It doesn't feel like a completely revamped under-21 side. That can sometimes feel that way, especially when the first team come and take some of their players to be in and amongst, of course, the senior side. But you can really feel this side are on the same wavelength here. And that's why we're getting to see some of the picturesque football on show. Louis Zhao, who's decided to grow his hair out. Usually used to seeing him with no hair, but new hairdo, new season. Just over 10 minutes left till the break. Sure there'll be a couple of minutes added on due to the injury of Louis Zhao. Perhaps a training ground tactic we're about to see here from near Lardley's men. This time it'll be sent in, almost towards the stand, but it just stays in. Herrick has to be alert. Cleared away. The defenders just want to get rid, whilst Herrick's just jumping about to try and punch it away. And what a save that was. Able to get back up on his feet and actually analyse the situation that was going on, as he was caught in room over to that far side of the goal. But he did enough to leap up like a cat and collect it without having to parry it into the danger zone. Good work there from Finn Herrick. And albeit fairly dogged defending there from West Ham, they still managed to keep it goalless. Can they now make it 1-0? Oh, just wide. Josh Landers, didn't he put his foot through that? The ball once again from coming over the top. Came off the shoulder of his colleague, and then Landers rifling it, trying to find the corner, but instead the stand. This could be promising. Landers, Orford, they've got so many chances, and what a save that is from Norcutt. No, it's not. The players going up to the referee believing they should have had a penalty. But Norcutt ended up making the save. They feel it should have been a handball. Well, the goalkeeper certainly got a hand, but did the defender, number 16, Tanji Akinola, the player who perhaps handballed it. But as you may or may not be surprised, there is no video assistant referee in the National League Cup. So a corner is the outcome, as that was the on-field referee's verdict. But could they get a goal here? West Ham certainly dominating in this current moment in time. Louis Zhao with the slightly awkward overhead kick. And then the shot scuffed wide. So a foul was judged to have been committed there just after that little tussle of players following that corner. So Norcutt, who's made a good couple of saves in this first half, of course on a short-term loan from Reading. Perhaps, though, with these performances, Woking will want him to stay for longer. There's Okinola. Now Richards. As he sends one up to the centre. They get a foul. Louis Zhao still contesting with the referee, judging by his body language, but the referee's made the game go in the way of your team. Now Orford. Once more, great play from West Ham. Orford driving towards the byline to cut it back. But safe hands from Norcott are there once again. Short throw, fairly risky given the amount of players West Ham have around the box, but they trust their players, and it's passed all the way back to Okinola. Here's Caleb Richards. There's another new signing, the left back, number 3 down there. Signed from Kidderminster Harriers. A very quick left back. We've seen that on a couple of occasions so far in this first half, especially early on. Louis Zhao having to force it all the way back. Herrick fortunately there. There's Okinola. Now out to their number 12, Josh Asude. He's been very quick this first half as well. Very pacey left side for this Woking team. Asude trying to make that run. The Woking number 12 aiming to try and get behind Gollum Beckis, but he'll find the ball back at his feet when he's got the big Effiong trying to press him down, but he's caught in no man's land. Slightly risky from Mayers as he felt the pass was going straight towards Adiele. Robinson trying to play the switch all the way over towards Regan Clayton. Goes just beyond him. And out for another goal kick. So, of course, just over 3 minutes left of this first half. It's been a positive performance so far. This will certainly enthuse West Ham fans watching right now. Getting excited for the Premier League 2 season to start. Of course, we will be live against Nottingham Forest on Monday. Hopefully he'll be joined with the one and only Mark Phillips as well. Always miss him when he's not by my side, having banter in the gantry. Most likely taking the mick out of my accent or my shoes. So shout out to you, Mark, wherever you're watching. Ready for some 2025-26 bingo, wherever that may be. Louis Zhao with the header towards his Woking opposition. Here's Asude. Effiong's around him. Asude may go alone. Woking having a spell late on here in the first half. Clayton having to trust his head there, as is Mayers. Neither of them managing to find an actual pass, and that's a good ball. Gollum Beckis was there, and Herrick too. There's the deflection from Gollum Beckis. Went straight into the direction of his colleague Louis Zhao. Fortunately, Herrick was there to pick up the pieces. Well, been one of the more entertaining goalless first halves that I've watched. Certainly been impressed by West Ham. Woking being robust in their defence. Although West Ham have had a few opportunities where Woking have had to scramble it away from the goal. Specifically that one where Caleb Richards was on the line. Of course, their defender there, number 16, Tunji Akinola, played for West Ham between the ages of 7 and 22. So a familiar face for some West Ham fans. Of course, he left West Ham in 2021 after having been on loan at Leyton Orient, and then went up to Scotland for a couple of years between 2021 and 2023 to Partick Thistle, where he featured in over 34 games. And then since 2023, he's made over 74 appearances for Woking, scoring 6 goals. The first team Tunji Akinola was at was Brimsdown Rovers, a football club based in Brimsdown, of course, in the London Borough of Enfield. And then he made the move from that area to East London when he was just a boy.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes additional time. 3 minutes.
They're willing to make their short passes, Woking, sticking to their principles of play, albeit they may have a few West Ham players in and around that back line. They still trust each other. Here's another run from Okinola. This looks promising. Effiong unable to get there before Louis Zhao. So a late throw after a game where each side have had their moments, and Woking are finishing it the stronger of the two in terms of the attacking intent. Be a long throw straight into the mixer. Herrick's there, it goes beyond him, and the header almost caught Herrick off guard. In fact, he was well positioned to be able to just collect that head, but you could see the player who ended up trying to score the header, it was the number 18 new signing Jack Turner, tried to steer it away, and Herrick did very well as his body was going the other way. Turner headed it towards that far corner. Herrick was able to just stop his body from diving to the right and instead collecting it to the left. Can West Ham have a late chance? Mayers sending the ball out long. Well, it's now in the favour of West Ham. We're 2.5 minutes into this added time. Can they get a late goal? Adieli looking to fire it goalwards. Comes off a Woking player and it will be a corner. Adieli just popping up on this pocket outside the area. Struck it with force, but it was straight into the leg of Timmy Odesina. This time it's a different type of corner. Battram smashes one into the leg of the Woking defender, and then Orford smashes one out the ground after the half-time whistle is blown. Well, we've seen some trickery, we've seen some close chances and some good goalkeeping saves, which is why it is currently goalless at the break. We'll be back in just under 15 minutes time for the start of the second half in your Young Irons' first competitive game of the season. Well, welcome back everyone for the start of the second half between Woking and West Ham in the National League Cup. It was an exciting goalless performance there from both sides in that first 45, hoping for the same but perhaps a few more goals, all for West Ham of course, and time will tell if they can get their first win of the season in their first game of the season here in Surrey at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. You're joined with me, Ollie Ordis. Already we've seen a fine bit of skill from Preston Fearon. Already doing the rounds on social media and people commenting on the reaction of Effiong. How he was absolutely gutted to see someone probably half his age, no disrespect there, do what he did. In the half-time break though, just before that, your Irons have got their first draw of the EFL Cup. They'll be playing Wolverhampton Wanderers away, so a Premier League tie set up there. Perhaps not what West Ham would have wanted, especially Graham Potter. When you're in the early stages of the cup competitions, what you want is someone slightly easy, and especially, no matter what, at home. So having to travel up to the Midlands isn't ideal for Potter and his men. Yeah, something they'll have to deal with, and something I'm sure they'll still be able to get the job done at. Of course, they kick off their season against Sunderland on Saturday. How many of you are watching? Going up to the Stadium of Light for the first time since the 2016-17 season, when they were in the Premier League, of course, coached by David Moyes. Doesn't look like there's any substitutes that's been made by Mark Robson at half-time. Of course, Ryan Battram wore the number 7 shirt on a lot of occasions last season, but the majority of the times it was worn by Sean Moore, who of course has been one of the players to depart the Hammers in the summer. Of course, he originally arrived from Cliftonville in Ireland, and now he's gone back to Ireland as he plays and tries to find his form again in Shelbourne. Never really worked out for him at West Ham, so wish him all the best with his life back in Ireland. Of course, other players who have departed West Ham on a loan deal, however, have had some good times of late. Of course, Caelan Casey at Swansea, what a move that is for him, playing Championship football as a centre-half. Of course, he already made his first start for the Swans after coming on in their first game of the Championship season against Middlesbrough on Saturday. Unfortunate that he came on with it being a goal down, and that was the result in the end. But on a more positive note, last night he impressed Swansea fans, having played the full 90 after making his first start for Swansea. Swansea fans were pleased with his composure and possession, and of course that's something you'd expect from an academy product at West Ham, or in the Premier League academies, especially with how they like to play. And as well, they were happy with his duels and the way he was able to make those defensive blocks. So he helped his side in a 3-1 win against Crawley get into the next round of the EFL Cup. What a story that would have been if Swansea got West Ham, but I'm fairly sure he wouldn't have been able to play. Here's Clayton. All the way back to Mayers. Trying to switch it over. Headed away by Norcott. And Golombekis will stick out a leg. So Caelan Casey's Swansea City, as we'll call them for the rest of the season, have a home tie against Plymouth Argyle in the next round of the EFL Cup. So another home tie against a side from a lower division. Perhaps a nice little cup run for the West Ham loanee. More brilliant play from West Ham. Fearon fortunately gets it back as he edges it over towards Battram. Low strike, leg save from Norcott. Robinson just flicks it over towards Battram, but he got so close to finding the back of the net there. Of course, Ryan Battram was the under-21's only goal scorer of pre-season. That was an under-21. Of course, The other player was Michael Antonio, who we wish all the very best to in his future endeavours. Of course, he got a brace against Boreham Wood in their 2-1 away win. But apart from that, only Ryan Battram was a player in this side to find the back of the net. Dispossessed. And he knew he committed a foul. And he's on a yellow card already, Sam Ashford. And he's going to get sent off. No, he's not. It looked like he was walking over towards Sam Ashford as if he was about to give him a second yellow due to the fact that he kicked it away. And he's already on a yellow card and he's now walking off, which would suggest he has been sent off. The referee didn't show his card, but West Ham in a fortunate position where Woking are down to 10. And that's poor from Sam Ashford. You'd expect better from your senior players there, who of course got booked for the foul on Louis Zhao, which left him down for a few minutes in the first half. And now given a second yellow card for his decision to strike the ball after the referee had blew his whistle. Of course, Sam Ashford, the player just sent off, just joined Woking in the summer. His youth career as well was at Tottenham Hotspur, dare I name them. Whipped in by Clayton. Colin Beckus with a smart header back towards Fearon. Ashford also had a spell at Cliftonville the season after Sean Moore left them to join West Ham. See the idea from Fearon as he tried to find Battram, but this is a darting run forward from the centre half, Odesina. What a run that is as Mayers tries to bring him down. And that's excellent defending as Odesina hits the floor in frustration at the referee's decision. Or lack of decision. Clayton. Nice cut in. Arieli will fetch it. Fearon with a bit of room to his right as it's closed down. So just joining, Woking down to 10 men. Sam Ashford with a second yellow card. So West Ham have the upper advantage now for the foreseeable of the match. Clayton. Arieli with the pass back to him, but he wasn't able to keep it. Fearon tries to loop one up to Mayers. He was just a yard away. But once again, Norcott, his reading has been brilliant. And he's made some really important saves. So here's Colin Beckus. Clayton tries to make a run down the left, but Fearon just tries to pull the strings with the short pass from Orford as he just walks around, catching his breath back as he's in so much running in this game, Preston Fearon. As have so many of the West Ham players, their commitment's been brilliant so far. Orford. Colin Beckus, who likes to attack, just drifting over towards that right-hand side like a right winger. Now Orford again. Arieli with the chest down. Cleared away from the number 17, Luke Hall. It will be the first corner of the second half. Well, more defending and goalkeeping to do for Woking, but Tom Norcott, only 20 years of age, from the Reading youth, been at Reading since he was 7 years old. Fearon feeding one over the top. Well, it's over all the heads and out for another goal kick. Of course, talking of goalkeepers who have been successful as late on a loan spell, Mason Terry at Braintree. Of course, he endured a good season at Hornchurch last year, winning the Supporters Player of the Year. But since he's gone up a level to another side in Essex, of course, Braintree Town, who West Ham played last year in the National League Cup, they ended up losing 4-2 on Bonfire Night. But now Mason Terry finds himself there for the rest of the season. He made back-to-back clean sheets, 3-0. The National League win in their opener against Halifax Town, and then backed up with a 2-0 win against Leicester's under-21s in this competition last night. And more importantly, he saved a penalty as well against Halifax. Here comes Clayton! Brilliant save from Norcott, being their standout performer for Woking, denying every opportunity that West Ham are throwing his way. Now Orford drifting over towards the right. As he just palmed it in the air and it just looped down, as you anticipated a West Ham player to be in close proximity to the mouth of the goal to just nap it home. Effiong with the chest down over towards the run of Asude. He's up against Louis Zhao. Nutmegs Junior Robinson, but unable to keep the ball after that. Trying to do his Fearon impression. As Orford will try and send it over down the right. Wins a free kick. Josh Landers, the player that's fouled. There's going to be two substitutions made by the manager, Neil Ardley. So off comes number 6, on comes number 23. So that's the end of the action for Jamie Andrews, as he is replaced by the number 23, Timmy Akinola.
And Jamie is replaced by number 23, Timmy Akinola.
Joined in July this year, Akinola coming on, one of the new recruits. He was an Arsenal youth product between
and second substitution
the years of 2020 and 2023.
Timmy
and off comes the captain,
and Timmy is replaced by number 2, Aaron Drew,
as he's replaced by one of the other new signings, Andre Drew. As for your Irons, on comes Mohamedou Kante.
Coming off the pitch, number 9, Josh Landers.
Louis Zhao still on the pitch.
Mohamedou Kante.
I'll confirm shortly who just came off. I'm sure you guys watching back home will know. But Mohamedou Kante, of course, signed last summer from Paris FC on a 5-year contract, and then he was loaned back out to them last season. So we're really, hopefully, going to get an idea of what Mohamedou Kante has in his locker. So he looks to be playing or sitting just next to Orford, with Fearon free roaming around them both. Adieli still on the pitch, as is Robinson. But lots of runners, and you can see the tall, physical prospect there wearing number 14 in Mohamedou Kante. Adiele on the right. Batram, Kante runs in. Cleared away. And Josh Landers has come off. So Josh Landers off. Kante on, which is not a like-for-like change that you'd expect. You can see Adiele drifting in the middle with Batram as well. So someone will have to do the work of Josh Landers. Really a tactical switch made from Mark Robson and his staff. Here's Clayton again, trying to feed up a ball over towards Batram. But Effiong's going to sprint away. You can see Kante going into him. He still doesn't get a touch. Robinson with a brilliant challenge to take it over towards Kante. Well, of course, Woking, as mentioned earlier, 13 of their last 14 seasons have been spent in the National League. They're a well-known club from Surrey, and another well-known figure, if you're a commentary boffin like I am, Martin Tyler, an iconic football commentator, heavily associated with Woking FC. He has a long-standing connection with them. He's been a player for them, a lifelong fan, and he's even been a coach for them. He's done a couple of games as well, I'm sure back in his early days too. A big Woking fan and celebrity really, given his stature now in the footballing world. There's Louis Zhao. Woking obviously down to 10 now. You can see that they're happy to just sit in two banks of four with Effiong leading the line, which is just making it tougher for West Ham. Perhaps that's a reason why Landers came off, as they knew they weren't maybe going to be able to get many balls into the box, and perhaps they're going to have to try and play through this sturgid defence, which is why you've got runners like Adiele and physical presences like Kante adding to that midfield. They're gaining yards, not there though. Patient build up from the Hammers, and it'll have to be. Unable to find a player in West Ham colours, which are very similar to those of Woking colours if you're looking from the back of their shirts. But Robinson tries to send in a ball, falls to Fearon, back to Robinson. Just fizzles out, back to Mayers. As they're just trying to switch it up, West Ham, feeding it from right to left. Adiele's caught with three players around him, but he still has the back heel ability to play it to Mayers, who will then feed in a good ball from a good angle. Here's Fearon. Just needs to try and get it under his spell. Surely, Battram! How close can you get? When the goalkeeper's in fine form, you need the woodwork to help you out, but it didn't there. And it rebounds off into the stand. But what play this was from West Ham. Certainly one of the best under-21s performances I think I've seen for a very long time. In terms of just how fluid they are. And even when you feel like they don't have a chance, they do. So there's some more substitutions. Number 33, Sonny Parks is coming on. And coming off looks to be the number 12, Josh Asude. So Sonny Parks, left back coming on. Number 11, Matt Ward coming on as he replaces the number 4.
And Sharik is replaced by number 11, Matt Ward.
And then finally, number 19, Jack Hyde, is the one to be replacing Josh Asude.
Coming off the pitch, number 12,
19, Jack Hyde, signed at Woking after being on loan at Chelmsford. Previously at Woking between 2018 and 2020. 35 years of age, he's now a player coach. And he's played for 16 clubs in his career. And like Woking and a few others, he's been at these clubs for more than once. So he's entering his second spell for Woking. And this time with a slightly different endeavour, given the fact that he's looking to go into coaching. Kante and Mayers. Another long ball straight into the gloves of Norcott. So there are a few other National League Cup games going on this evening. Gateshead currently playing in a derby against Newcastle. That's 2-1 to Gateshead. That's at half-time. Rochdale have beaten Burnley 2-1. Forest Green 2-0 up against West Brom. Truro also, of course, in the side or in the group with West Ham. They're 2-1 up against Southampton. And Tamworth are drawing 0-0 to Manchester United. Only 39 minutes gone there. As West Ham looking to try and break the deadlock as we enter the final 23 minutes. The final quarter of this match is Fearon. Mayers. Nice link up between the two. Tries the chip pass right at the end, but Fearon wasn't there. It was a nice effort. We had Fearon stretching to try and get on the end of it. As for Woking, they play Southampton on the 16th of September. Then they're away at Fulham, or home at Fulham. And then, of course, host Brighton at the end on the 25th of November. And as mentioned earlier, Fulham 7-0 winners against Sutton last night. Orford trying to pull off a strike. Definitely came off one body. And it came off a Woking body. So another corner for your Irons. So number 16, Tunji Akinola, the ex-Hammer. And that's going to mark the end of the game for Preston Fearon, as he's going to be replaced by another mainstay last season, another ever-present Taranak Pata. Not a bad substitution when you're bringing on an engine like him. But Preston Fearon, he'll be delighted with his performance in some aspects. Of course, he was unlucky not to score early on. But he'll be going off knowing that he sent one of the players for a hot dog. Well, the ball played in towards that back post. They're getting the second balls as well, West Ham, especially in attack. They're unable to make that count. as they look to be hit on the break. Aaron Drew going over to help out. Kante. West Ham winning it back. Kante's long ball all the way over towards this left-hand side. That's perhaps when you need the pace of Adiele, even Josh Ajala, to try and get on the end of that. But Lewis Orford perhaps just didn't quite have it in him. And Matt Ward, number 11, another substitute who came on, another forward. Signed from Ipswich. Registered down as a forward, but playing like a fullback now. Featured heavily though last season for Ipswich. 4 goals in 35 games, the 21-year-old. And he looks to try and make his mark in Woking. Orford. Could see the idea. As they look to try and switch it. Well, one of the players down now. I believe it is Tunji Akinola. We'll just need to have some medical help here.
Oh no, hang on. There's someone down.
So of course still goalless. West Ham have had their moments, specifically the one falling to Ryan Battram after Mayers hung it in towards that far post. It was a nice layoff from Fearon as Battram had room to really tee up an effort, and he did. Smashed it, and it looked like it was heading towards that top corner, but instead it hits the upper side of the crossbar and just flies over into the stand. Unfortunate there for Ryan Battram. The player's back up on his feet in Tunji Akinola, which is good to see. And of course, Woking are down to 10 men after Sam Ashford got a second yellow card. So West Ham are currently up against a low block now, who are just going to look to try and hit them on the counter-attack. Of course, Neil Ardley will be frustrated after his side lost 2-0 at the weekend to Carlisle, but they had an opportunity tonight to try and get themselves back together, get themselves into some winning momentum before they travel to Scunthorpe on Saturday. Other players who have been brought on. Tyrone Akpata. If you're just joining us now, Adiele. Kante finding room. Orford with the run. Robinson with the delivery, but no one's there. Interestingly enough, they're feeding some balls into the box, but no real out-and-out striker like a Josh Landers in the box to try and head them home. Battram's doing that work right now, and we know how versatile he can be. West Ham just getting a little bit sloppy now. They've still been so good at the build-up. Now they've managed to create the chances, especially from when it's looking unlikely, so that will please Mark Robson. Akpata shrugging off the pressure. Kante trying to get a goal after coming back on loan, but it's straight into the arms of Norcott, who comes down. What a time that would have been to score. West Ham have another chance though, with Kante on the edge of the area as they tried to feed it towards an on-running Orford. Once again though, it's all West Ham right now. The additional man is certainly showing. Adieli, he's loved it. Those backheel passes. 2 successful ones already in this second half. Orford, he'll have a go. Drags it wide. Well, he didn't drag it wide. It was a good strike as it came off a Woking player. And they have another chance. Mayers have to do well to try and keep it in now. And he does. Orford. Nimble work. Less than a quarter of an hour to go. As West Ham certainly in control right now. Kante flicking it over towards that right. But over all of them and out for another goal kick. Well, of course, so far, mentioned Caelan Casey, Michael Forbes and Mason Terry, but not to forget about Gideon Kodua, who, of course, is now at Luton. He made his first start for the Hatters in the Carabao Cup and played in the right of the midfield. Unfortunately, the result didn't go his side's way, though, as they fell short of Frank Lampard's Coventry City, 1-0. However, Gideon Kodua was seen to have offered a lively attack down that right-hand side, so we wish him all the best in his time in Bedfordshire. Well, the first time we've really looked to our right for a while in this second half. But could Woking do what they've planned to do now since Ashford's gone off and just sit back but hit West Ham when they have a chance? Hung up by Drew. Akpata with a header away. Unable to really clear their lines, but they have a chance to now. Kante tries the skill, but Drew was there to play it back to Norcott. It's even number 19. Great high, just trying to play off the shoulder of Robinson to the extent he fouls him. With Mayers. Clayton trying to weave one through, but hitting the other number 11 on the pitch. Louis Zhao finding a lovely ball over towards Robinson. That's a brilliant touch. And they try and carve an opening now. They've been so close, West Ham. Final pass from Kante, unable to find Orford. 2 players tussling for the ball. Mayers. It's a spell of the game where West Ham are just having to try and find an opening. Once again, he's playing it round the back from side to side. You can't blame them. Woking just having to chase the ball. That's not the finest ball played from Battram, as Jake Guy will try and make the better of it down this left-hand side, but there's plenty of West Ham shirts around him, albeit they look like Woking ones. Heavy touch that Adieli tries to make the most of. Falls for a throw-in, which will be taken by Aaron Drew, who's come on as well. Another new signing, QPR product, over in West London. Played for their academy. Becker's just heading it towards Louis Zhao. We're within the final 10 minutes of the game here, the Laithwaite Community Stadium. Thank you for joining us all on this Wednesday evening in the first National League Cup game, in the first competitive game here. Do like and subscribe to the West Ham YouTube channel if you haven't already, and comment as well who you think your player of the match has been. A lot of good performances from West Ham, but mainly as a collective. I did have to say a player, though, being completely unbiased, it's hard not to look at the goalkeeper, Tom Norcott, which sort of tells you the type of match it's been, where West Ham have just been laying opportunities on at him throughout the game, and he's managed to pull off some brilliant saves that should have been guaranteed goals. Now Battram. Someone wanting to be the match winner now for West Ham. Wolford. That's a nice pass. Kept the ball for too long there, didn't know what to do. Akpata tried making the run behind him, and then he passed it in front of him. Here's another opportunity. Clayton. All West Ham once again. Adieli. This could be nice. Kante just getting stuck. Can he make himself unstuck? Akpata with a low strike. Surely Orford now. And once again, it was easy for the goalkeeper as it was straight at him. But another clear-cut opportunity. That just goes begging for the Irons. How close can you get? Akpata with the low strike. It fell kindly to Orford following a deflection. All he needed to do was hit it either side of the goalkeeper, and he's put inside a goal up. Adieli brought down, handles the ball, and instantly you knew that that was just going to go in the way of the home side. Well, if the National League Cup did fancy football, Tom Norcott would be raking in the points. So, of course, the next game in the National League Cup isn't for a while. Sutton away on the 21st of October. And then, after that, the 25th of November against Truro away. And the 9th of December against Aldershot away. Feels like a long way away. Before you know it, we'll be there. Hoping that West Ham are getting closer to the knockout stages. Of course, last season they didn't have the most success in getting and advancing into competitions other than the Premier League 2. Of course, They got knocked out to Manchester United into the second game, and then were unfortunate not to get through in the Premier League International Cup or the National League Cup, so they only really had the Premier League 2 to focus on after January and February. They want to try and play some more games, more competitions to win, of course, as they want to stay in this season. And they're looking like a side that could do that. Although it's still goalless, I feel they could still create a chance, like now. Still Akpata, surely! Orford again! This goalkeeper has loved seeing Orford strikers. Every time he's done it, he's caught it. Adieli with the quick dancing feet by the byline. Akpata with the layoff. And it's good positioning once more from the goalkeeper. Woking still on here for a smash and grab. 5 minutes left plus stoppage time. Of course, the next cup competition West Ham play will likely be the EFL Trophy game against MK Dons. But now can they finally score? Surely, Batram! It's inevitable now. Norcott having an absolutely insane game. One of the best goalkeeping performances I've ever seen whilst I've been covering the West Ham Academy. Batram with the touch though, perhaps just had a slightly heavy touch there, which allowed the referee time, not the referee, the goalkeeper time to swarm in before he eventually struck it. Dan Riggs just come on for the final 4 minutes. West Ham, if they don't score, will be walking off the pitch thinking, how? Here's Orford, sending it over towards Golombekis. Of course, the manager Ardley will be happy that Woking have defended as a unit, but it hasn't been ideal by any means. Having to run more, of course, they've chased the whole game. They've chased the ball in this second half when they went down to 10. So going to Scunthorpe with more tired legs than they would have wanted after starting off with a 2-0 defeat at home isn't something they would have wanted going into the start of this season. It's still an awfully long way to go.
Community Stadium attendance is 243.
Not in this match, however.
Thank you all for your support here this evening.
Rig. That's smart. Finding Mayers first time. He didn't have much time to take a touch. So Aaron Drew knew what he was doing and managed to make himself in the way. Ball played in once again. Kante jumping up, but Akpata will fetch. Kante just on the edge of the area. Akpata just wanting to get it in the mixer, but instead in the gloves of Norcott. Woking with a rare chance as they chip it towards goal. Herrick almost spilled it, but calmly collect it the second time it was in the air. Taken down by Hyde. So we're entering the final minute now. Adieli. Kante. West Ham looking to build in this patient way once again. Only over to Adieli will do so far, the quick feet. Now Rig. Kante. That's a nice pass. Through to Robinson. Pulls it across. And there it is! In the 90th minute, Lewis Orford finds the back of the net. It was coming. And relief for West Ham. Especially for Lewis Orford, who's had countless strikes on goal. Every one of them have been claimed by the goalkeeper, but not this time. They wear down Woking and put themselves 1-0 up.
First goal for West Ham United.
Excellent result for West Ham. If they can see this through. 6 minutes added on here
Minimum of 6 minutes
at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. Well, that is one way to start a season as well. When your name's been in the hat for being on the bench for the senior side, for being in and around the senior side in pre-season, and of course making his debut last season. If you're getting opportunities at under-21s level, you want to take them, and that's what he's done. He's shown the confidence. He's been a leader on the pitch. He's been magnificent in midfield, and he deserves his goal. So 1 minute into the 6 so far. Here's Kante. Can they make it 2? After working so hard to try and find 1, it still remains 1. You can see the tired legs from Woking now, having chased the ball for the majority of this second half with a goal with a man down. It was always going to fatigue them. Can they make an unlikely comeback? Mayers shouldering off the pressure provided from Matt Ward. Orford. Cool as you like from Adieli. Orford gently towards Battram. You really felt when they found themselves in that position, surely it was going to be a goal. And there Orford was as the central midfielder popping up in the box. Definition of a box-to-box player. Now Rig. As we edge closer to the halfway point of the added on time. 6 minutes if you're just joining us. Lewis Orford's goal in the 90th minute is what sees West Ham currently claiming all first 3 points. Their first 3 points of the season. Now they're just calmly passing it around, knowing that Woking have chased the game for the majority of it. He's out. Knocking there as he looks to try and swing it over towards Robinson, but fakes the effort and then does send one over towards Robinson, who stays on his feet. Changing his direction. And back to Kante. Brilliant game management this from West Ham. They've won it back. They look to try and double their lead. Robinson's smart there as he holds it up. McPattert just taking the ball out of play with himself.
Tonight's man of the match is awarded to number 31, Tom
you can see
Belcott.
how hard the players have worked. Orford there, just panting for breath with his hands on his knees. He has done an exceptional job and deserves his goal, running that midfield. Props to Preston Fearon as well. Kante's come on for Josh Landers, and he's looked energetic, he's looked physical, exactly what you would expect from a player of his stature. 1 minute left. West Ham don't want to waste it here. I feel like it's pretty much a done deal with how legged Worthing are looking. Adieli down on his knees. I suppose this is the first real competitive game, and it's been a good shift, a good effort from both sides, especially in the first half, but West Ham have been brilliant in the second as well. West Ham just want to try and perhaps conserve that energy, but it's going to be a tough season if they want to go marching on in all three competitions. And 4 even if you think of the Premier League Cup. Here's Kante. Can he make it 2? Yes, he can. West Ham with their first 3 points of the season. They were waiting for a goal for 90 minutes and 2 come along in 6.
Second goal for West Ham in the 96th minute.
Won by the first goal scorer as he glides over to his right. Kante just swallows up the ball. He is going to be some player this season with the finish as well. So 2 goals from 2 central midfield players, and we haven't even got Josh Ajala on the pitch. Exciting things to come. You couldn't have asked for more if you're a West Ham fan. Woking, on the other hand, will be frustrated with how their season started, and they'll be looking to try and get rid of this losing pattern on Saturday afternoon as they travel to Scunthorpe. All eyes on the referee for West Ham as their efforts look to be over now, following a very good, robust, smart, silky 2-0 win. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone, here at Woking at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. It ends here, Woking 0, West Ham 2, goals from Amadou Kante and Lewis Orford. We'll be back on Monday evening for Nottingham Forest as they come to East London. Have a good time until then, and of course enjoy your weekend. Come on, you Irons, as they face Sunderland at 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Rochdale 2, Burnley 1. Forest Green Rovers